If you're familiar with the term Hell Week, that's what it's been all month. Just complete hell. I had like 2 hours of sleep. I still have to study again because I have 2 exams tomorrow. I don't think I did well earlier. Oh well. Hey, it's me, Yannsie, and I started a new book last night. Now, before you make comments about my lighting and everything, it's still morning. I took my exams from 7 to 9 a.m., but my curtains are closed and it's cloudy right outside, so this is my lighting. Just this lamp that I got on the Orange app. Now, last night I started reading Someone Who Will Love You in All Your Damaged Glory by Raphael Bob-Waksberg. I hope I'm saying this correctly. Raphael is the creator of BoJack Horseman. I personally have not watched the series, but I am familiar with it. When I picked up the book, I wasn't exactly sure what I was getting into because I just thought it might be cool to read a book with this title. I really like the title. I don't know, man. This me with love is just like, it gets me, you know? It's a collection of short stories. Some of them are completely absurd. And I read 3. No, technically 1. Well, I don't know how would you classify a short story because I read through like 3 chapters and one of them was much longer than the other 2. It was so absurd. The elements of the storytelling was ridiculous. I was like, what are choruses of screaming lamentations supposed to do at a wedding? What are these things? But you don't even have to look past the absurdity of the story to actually get what the author is trying to say. It was so sweet. It was so wholesome. It was so down to earth. It paints a picture of love that is so real. And I love it so much. It made me smile and made me laugh. One thing that I really want to talk about is the very first chapter of this book. I'm going to show you. I find it so creative, and not just the way that it was written, but the way that it appears visually. Now look at this. Okay? You see that upper big text? That is not the title of the chapter. That's the actual text. And as you go down, the text gets smaller and smaller. And it goes on for the next page too. The text is already like pretty small up here, but it continues getting smaller and smaller as it goes on. It is so interesting how they paired the writing and visual storytelling through a book. When at the moment I noticed, oh, it's getting smaller and smaller. Hey, it's editor Yannsie. I was going through all the clips and I realized that a lot of what I said, or whatever I tried to say, was difficult to follow because not even I could understand what I was trying to say. So, the reason that first chapter struck me so much is that the visual, the way it was laid out, matched the actual text itself, matched the story that was being told, and it works so well because it felt like someone spiraling. Like the statement was so clear at first, and then it became like word vomit. It visually and literally feels faster, like you're reading someone go on a tangent. It works so well. It meshes so well together. The gist of the chapter was that you as a reader are given the option of whether or not to open a suspicious can of cashews. A can of cashews that has, "This is a can of cashews," written all over it. It is labeled as a can of cashews in a way that is so suspicious that it's kind of obvious that it's a prank. And so you know it's probably one of those cans that's gonna have a snake inside that's gonna jump at you the second you open it. But you might still want to open it. Not because you're stupid, not because you suck at following your instincts, but because you still know for a fact that there are cans of cashews that actually exist. And this can could be what it's saying it is. It is beautiful the way it was written because you know for a fact that it's not about a can of cashews. You can be given all the red flags, all the reasons you should not be with someone, you should not be in a situation, but you might still go for it. You might still choose them. And it won't be because you're stupid. And it won't be because you didn't see the signs. It's gonna be because you fundamentally believe that love exists, that it exists, it is out there, and who are you to say that this person cannot be the one that's meant for you? And that is beautiful. And it's not something to be ashamed of. And yes, we should be much wiser with the connections that we make and the people that we give our time to. But at the end of the day, it isn't stupid to love. It isn't stupid to take a chance. And there is beauty in the way that we love, if that is how you love. So yeah, now back to regular programming.
That the thing about death is that it's terrifying and overwhelming, and it can happen at any moment. And when we're confronted with death, we can either be cowardly or we can be brave. But either way, we're going to die. And I thought about how, actually, if you wanted to, you could say the same thing about life. That life is terrifying and overwhelming, and it can happen at any moment. And when you're confronted with life, you can either be cowardly or you can be brave. But either way, you're going to live.
So you might as well be brave. I am trying this new setting on my phone where it automatically tracks my face to see if this is a better way of filming. It's not moving. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Okay, I just got home from church and I really wanted to get back into reading. I want to continue. But here's the thing, I'm like 2 chapters away from finishing this thing. I know for a fact that once I start, I am going to finish reading it. So I just want to let's talk about the thoughts for a bit. Why is the camera moving? So I have my notes and let's get into it. What do I think the book is about? The book is about love. It's about how messy and how human real love looks like. The relationships you'll find in this book are not the typical rom-com relationships. They're not perfect. They're not squeaky clean. Love isn't exclusive to the people that are perfectly healthy, both physically and mentally. I could be wrong. Let me know if you would disagree with me on this one. But personally, I don't think you should idealize any of the characters in this book because all of these characters are broken in one way or another. They're all wrong. They're all fundamentally wrong about how either they see love or how they see themselves. And love does not fix any of it. Love is not the answer in any of these stories. Well, at least based on how I understand it. Rather, love is the result of being human. And because love is very human, it's bound to be flawed. Real love is messy. It could feel magical. It could feel so emotionally high. But the tension, the feelings, they all come to a low. And that's normal because real love sometimes feels dull. Sometimes it feels slow. But in that slowness, you can find stability, safety, security, certainty. And I absolutely love the way it's written, the way it's depicted. This entire thing, every single short story, is absolutely absurd. The premises behind premises. The premises behind every single story in here, absolutely absurd. You'll find superheroes in here, alternate dimensions, where our traditions and wedding ceremonies are that they have entire choirs that scream in pain, and that's supposedly normal. There are people that create dimension jumping machines where you can go from one universe or dimension to another. Everything is ridiculous and ridiculously unrealistic. But it is so beautifully written because the fact that everything is so unrealistic further emphasizes how real the problems are that these characters are facing. Because while they're superheroes, the writer and the characters, their POV does not focus on the superhero aspect of their story. Multiple times in that specific chapter, the character emphasizes this is not a superhero story. It's just a story that happens to have some superheroes in it, but it's about a band. It's about the relationship that these people, these characters built with each other. It's about how messy their love lives are and how messy their personal lives are and how it's been affecting each other in their band, how they talk to each other, how they deal with one another, how they deal with the work of being a superhero. I love this book so much. I really feel like this is going to be a 5-star read. I am 2 chapters away and there's no way that those final chapters are gonna ruin it for me. See you in the next update when I'm done reading. I have finished the book and I am happy to report that those final chapters did not disappoint. Absolute favorite book of the year. Nothing is gonna top this, I swear. I hope something does, but so far, we just starting November and I love this. I love this book. I'm going to treasure it. I am so glad that I started annotating in here because I typically don't annotate. I hate the idea of ruining my books, but I couldn't help myself. I started pencil marking and then I started highlighting. That's how good it was. It made a non-annotator start annotating. That's how good this book is. Okay, I need to get my notes because I feel like I'm gonna go so off track with whatever I'm gonna say. Here are the immaculate notes. One thing I would really want to touch up on is Raphael's writing style. What I noticed is that it's so accessible. It's so raw. It doesn't feel like any of the books I've read before where the language is very formal. It feels conversational almost. There are times that it differs from story to story, but in the second to last chapter, every time that a character is talking, he completely drops saying phrases like he said, she said, they said. There are no quotation marks. It's just I was like, and then he was like, they were like, and it adds to the humor of the book because sometimes it feels so unserious, and because of the way that he writes, it feels so unpretentious. That's why it feels so accessible. It takes another level of writing skill to be able to be so concise with language that it still feels emotionally heavy while feeling really friendly at the same time. I absolutely love this book. I adore it with all my heart, and ah, I would recommend for every living soul on earth to read this. It is emotional. It is so beautifully written. It is so funny. 5 stars. 5 stars. If you've made it all the way here, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Yannsie. I'll see you on the next one, nerds. Bye bye.